All right, I see we got two subscribers or two participants or viewers in here. What's up, Don Parker? How you doing? Brian Fat, Juan, what's him? We're gonna wait till we get a few more people. It's been a long time, a long time since a brother went live. So I'm sitting here chilling on a Wednesday night. Not much to do. I got a little meeting a little later on tonight. All right, we got 7 people, man. Look, if you're in here, put in the chat where you from. All right, what's happening, Brian? Sifo, what's up? Sipo or CPH and I be like phone. I want to say Sifo, but it's probably Seppo. I don't know. I could be wrong like a mug. Ain't no. Somebody said they waiting for Josie Gold to call in. Man, Josie Gold, man, I think Josie Gold not even know where he might be AI. Not an AI, as I think Josie Gold might be AI. Leva Po, Sipo. All right, got it. All right. So yeah, what we all call Johannesburg, South Africa. All right. Don Parker, Joe Berg. All right, we got 11 people in here. I think I'll start running my mouth really at 20, at 20 people. So somebody say Randburg. Shout out to Randburg. Shout out to Randburg. Sipo, where you from, man? Sipo Owen. Now, how you get a name like Sipo Owen? It's supposed to be like Sipo Vilakazi. You know, while we're waiting, what was your hip hop name again, Doc? I ain't never had no hip hop name. I used to go by my shout out to Port Elizabeth. I used to go by my government name and ATL. Man, shout out to ATL and Outkast for winning, for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Listen, y'all know I'm very critical of rap music and the misogyny and the violence and the drug dealing, but Outkast has always been my favorite rap group, especially Andre 3000. Um, but somebody asked me, no, I never had no rap name. I used to go by my government name, but I wasn't really a rapper. I was a poet. Let's get that straight. Oh, I'm still a poet. I do the poetry thing. You know, that's my outlet. I've started messing. I started messing around with this AI Suno, and another one is called Marika or something like that. And you can write you could just write the lyrics. You could write the lyrics, right? You don't have to know melody, and I know a little melody, right? But you could write the lyrics and put it like you write the lyrics in the thing and press create, and it'll make a whole song for you. And if you don't like the song, you press create again, it'll make a whole nother song. Use this stuff is crazy, and it sounds realistic. It sounds studio quality. Man, they about to put like singers out of business because you can make AI videos. It's about to be crazy. Somebody say Dre and Big Boy, nothing like home. Yeah, look, y'all know New Orleans and Atlanta, we got our thing. We got a love hate relationship. But yeah, shout out to Outkast. I was proud of them boys because back in the day when y'all know I'm 46, I'm almost 50 years old. So when I was like in high school, that's around the time that Outkast came out, around 95, 96 or something, or 93. It might have been 94, something like that. But that's when the epicenter of rap music was in New York, and California was making noise, and it was like the rest of the country didn't matter. If you were from the Midwest or Chicago, it didn't matter. If you were from the South, you didn't matter. And then Outkast came out. They're not the first, Ghetto Boys and all that stuff before them. But when Andre got on that stage at the Source Awards, and he said the South got something to say. That was it. The South took over hip hop, and it's never going back because black people live in the South. That's just the reality, right? The majority of African Americans live in the South. I put up a map on YouTube one time about where the majority of, I mean, like you think New York and California, man, the black population in California might be 1%. Louisiana, Mississippi is the blackest state in the union. Louisiana is the second blackest state in the union. Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. That's where black people live in the South. So once hip hop came to the South, that was it. Let me see what some of these comments saying. Shout out to Luciana. What's going on? Brother Don Parker. Right, let's see. Digital X Rustenburg in the Northwest. What, New Orleans and Atlanta don't get along? Man, come on now, bro. Come on now, friend. Let's be real. Now, it's not that we don't get along. It's a Saints Falcons thing, right? Is that and so here's and I'm gonna get into the reason of the live shortly here as we build up. But it's like two capitals of Black America, in my opinion, right? And some people from different places may disagree. I think Detroit may have an argument in terms of something, but not really. The two capitals of Black America, in my opinion, is Atlanta, Georgia, and New Orleans, Louisiana. And you say, well, why, Doc? Well, Atlanta is the Black Mecca. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's where black money is. It's where all the wealth is. It is everybody moved from different places to go to Atlanta to try to make something out of their lives or whatever have you. We really believe there's a lot of folk in America that believe, hey, look, I'm gonna move to Atlanta, change my life. Y'all saw Minister Society. Kane was moving to Atlanta from California to try to change his life. But New Orleans is like that place that really preserved that culture. Like, I was just on TikTok and the whole diaspora wars, and Black Americans don't have any culture. And then when Black Americans want to point to it to like some culture, they say, look at New Orleans, they got right. New Orleans preserved this real African, but then it's an ethnogenesis that was created there too, right? It is this New Orleans culture. So I think New Orleans is the cultural capital of Black America. I mean, Essence comes to New Orleans because, which is the largest gathering of African Americans in the country. They come to New Orleans. It's this cultural capital. It's a different place. It's like it is rooted in. It's really an African American cultural place, right? It's so that's my opinion on that. But yeah, I love Nola too, Angie. It's like Joburg and Pretoria. There's a rivalry there. I didn't know nothing about that for real. I didn't know. What about Philadelphia? It seems really black. I don't know, man. I know it's dangerous as hell in Philadelphia, boy. I went to Philadelphia about 6 years ago. No, and I'm from New Orleans. I ain't messing with no Philadelphia, man. Yeah, they a little different out there. Yeah, let me stay down south. Yeah. Can we talk about the development taking place in the U.S. government employees, civil servants go? Yeah, let's talk about that. The government was shut down. I think they're about to wrap that up. In the like maybe in the moment here, it may be wrapped up, and because they came to some sort of agreement. Um, but the reality is, I told folk uh, that the government shutdown would not last through November. And they said, well, why, Doc? I said, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. You cannot have people not being paid and not going Black Friday, which for the last about 5 or 6 years, it has been like really shrinking, getting smaller, not because people are not spending, but because people are actually spending on online. So they're spending on Black Friday and Amazon shipments, and so people are not rushing to the malls and standing in line for a long time, but they're still spending billions of dollars on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I knew the government shut. They wasn't finna let that people not get their paycheck and not be able to spend. Because the first thing that people gonna cut out is what? I can't afford it. I can't afford to go and buy that 50-inch uh, television. So we're gonna cut that out because the government is not paying me. But keep in mind that this new deal that they have, I believe it only goes through January 30th. Come on now, it's almost like they playing in our face, right? January 30th is like we're gonna wait till y'all get through Christmas, get through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right? Martin Luther King, and then we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna shut you down again. Who knows, man? These people out here, wow. Uh, let's see. There's a rivalry between Joburg and Pretoria. When is Black Friday? The day after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is what? 2 weeks from now? Yeah, thanks. 2 weeks from tomorrow or something like that. Yeah. So best way is to ask if you don't know. Uh, so yeah, so that's that, and I think into I see a lot of my South African family in the comments, and I don't know exactly who's watching, but there was when we moved here 3 years ago and 4 years ago when we started saying, "Hey, we're going to move to South Africa." A lot of people, including my South African family, would say, "Why would you want to move in? Why would you want?" I said, "Man, y'all just don't know." But now through social media, your interactions with the media itself, you're able to see what we saw 4 years ago. I'm something like a prophet. I saw this coming. I was like, "Ooh, it's getting bad over here. Let me pack up. Let me get out of here." Yes, I'm pathway to the new horizons. Yes, Lord, I saw the future. Is it so you're saying people so are you saying people will be paid to spend money on Black Friday? Big old facts. Yeah, yeah. So, because here's the thing about it. So, SNAP benefits, right? When SNAP benefits, that's what we call food stamps, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. For every dollar that someone, so you give people a SNAP card, right? They put money on those SNAP cards. For every dollar that they spend or that is given on that SNAP card, they spend $1.10 because they go out. The SNAP cards only can purchase certain things. They can't purchase plastic trash bags. It can't purchase non-food items, right? And in certain states, it can purchase certain sugary drinks. It can't purchase cookies and certain things, right? So when they go to the store with their SNAP card, yeah, they're going to spend what's on the card, but if they have any extra 20, $30, they spend that too. So it incentivizes them to actually, once you're in the store, it's not like, oh, I can only spend what's on my card. You'll see people at the register like, okay, swipe my card for the food and then swipe my this other card for these other items. So yeah, they're going to make sure those people have those paychecks. And then that's what SNAP. For the government employees, the air traffic controllers, the people working at the VA, the people, working for the federal government, they get their checks and they get nice checks. And some of them, if I'm not mistaken, will get back pay for because who those who still showed up to work, like the air traffic controllers, they're going to get back pay. So then they get this nice lump sum of money. Yeah, they're gonna have to pay some that mortgage and the other bills or whatever. But some of them may get a nice lump sum of money on their next paycheck, and they'll go out and feel very comfortable spending. Shout out to Durban. Shout out to Durban. Uncle Sam wants that money, and also the gave people half of their SNAP in Georgia. Yeah, did you know that Donald Trump tried to block states from assisting people? Like some states were like, okay, we're going to go into our rainy day fund, uh, our rainy day fund, and pay these people their SNAP benefits. Because listen, children, a mother can get SNAP not just because she's unemployed. That's unemployment pay. She gets SNAP because she has dependents, because she has babies that need to be fed. You cannot allow children not to eat, man. That's, children, old people, the disabled, right? So they paint that picture of, oh, it is, these able-bodied adults who don't want to work, and that's why we need to take. Man, that's not the truth. And even if it is truth, I'd rather give one or two of them people some the SNAP that they don't deserve, so that these babies could eat, so that these elderly people could eat, so that the disabled people could eat. I mean, God dog, y'all. The government, our government, something else. The South Africa have SNAP. They got grants. I was in the post office today, and the lady grant card wasn't working. She was in the wrong place though. But yeah, so I think it's like little grants, and they come on a little card. They call it grants. I don't know if it's a whole lot of money, but I know a lot of people get them. You know, so yeah, so there's something like that. And then obviously, like I think they have like uh, it was something like child support or something, like when they put it on the card. Or somebody explained to me. I may be wrong about that, but I do know they have the grants. Uh, so food stamps is like grants, something like that. Okay, so in the U.S. you have a lot of social support, believe it or not. Not like your Scandinavian countries where you got a gang of social support, but you have SNAP, which is food stamps, right? That's money given to Americans who cannot afford to feed themselves. Nearly 50 million Americans are food insecure, right? So they get these SNAP. Then you can have like SSI checks, which are Social Security income section. You have different types of SSI. You have those who worked so long and they paid into the system. Now they're retired and they get their money out of the SSI. Then you also have SSDI, like Social Security Disability Income, for those individuals who are unable to work. They may have some special needs. They have a disability of some sort, so they get a check too, and that's funded typically by the taxpayers. So the Social Security for like those who work, they actually pay for that themselves. That was taken out of their check every time they got paid, and now that they are retired, they get a little check, maybe 700, $800 a month. Some people may get more, I don't know. And then the Social Security disability income, that is really paid by the rest of the taxpayers. So there are some social safety nets that are in place in the United States, um, far, but nowhere near enough. All right, let's see. Are grants limited to food? If not, it's more like welfare. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the South African family here could answer if the grants are limited to food. Um, so SASA money for seniors and differently able. Thank you for that politically correct terminology. Differently abled bodies and child support grants money to get by. Yeah, so differently able, not disabled. I think that's a dated terminology. So what have I been up to? Let's talk about that. So y'all, um, what is a food stamp? They don't have food stamps no more. That's old. When you almost 50 like me, you still use the old terminology. So food stamp used to look like a fake, look like fake money. It used to come in a little, almost like a checkbook type thing, and it looked like fake money, but it was government, all money, government money, right? But it wasn't dollars, and you could take them and spend them like money. People used to sell their food stamps, right? Used to sell their food stamps to get real cash, and you could take the food stamps anyway. But now they come on a EBT card, right? It comes on a debit card, so it's EBT. That's the new slang, or that's the new terminology, EBT. But I'm old school. I still be saying food stamps. Coupons, yeah, food coupons. That's what we used to say, food coupons. Shout out to SLK. So, what have I been up to, man, y'all? So, listen, we have a group of Americans coming starting on Sunday. Um, it's with the National Association of Black Social Workers. You know, we did this program last year, and now we bam, 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 just like that. We back again this year, and they will be, your typical tours: Part Time Museum, Constitutional Hill, Soweto, but also on is that Saturday. So not they come in on this Sunday, so that Saturday that they're here, we're gonna be back at Kailami Shishinyama for like a little get together. I mean, it's not a meetup because I'm not even though I'm announcing it now on YouTube, but I'm not going to promote it like that. But if you are on this live and you want to come through and meet some of the people, because we're going to have a few African Americans come out. What I found is that this is the first time in history that Black Americans are really participating as immigrants, right? In any significant numbers, and the numbers are really not that significant. We're talking about a couple of thousand here in South Africa, a couple of thousands in Ghana, and if you probably added up all of the Black Americans who have recently left the United States, you may hit 15,000 people. You may. you may hit 15,000 people. I'm talking Portugal, Central and South America, the Caribbean. I'm talking about who recently left. So we're not talking about large numbers. But what I have found is that what it South Africa sells itself. But secondly, when they're able to arrive and see a community of other African Americans, it makes them feel even more at home because it's like, oh, I can talk to somebody who's done this, and it makes the idea real, right? You start. I think what a lot of people have attracted a lot of people to Black Americans, to me, and my and Adrian's journey, um, was that we're not rich people. We didn't come from super wealthy families. My daddy wasn't no CEO or nothing. My mama was a teacher. We're regular people. And when you're able to kind of see regular people that are able to do it, and you be like, oh, if Assad and Adrian can do it, if they can pull it off, they're not wealthy, there's nothing super special about them, then I can do it too. But also having that community is like, it's that familiarity. South Africans are very familiar to Black Americans, but nothing's going to be more familiar than another Black American, if that makes sense, right? So then it feels like you have a community already built in. So anyway, so if y'all are able to come out on those on that Saturday, I forgot the date. Uh, this Sunday is the 16th. That following Saturday, whatever that date is, will be at Kailami Sishinyama at 2 o'clock. Come out and meet some of the people, greet them. I think it'll be great. And these people are not students; these are professors and academics, professors, academics, and actual social work professionals. So yeah, we're not. Yeah. Anyway, so what else is going on? Let me read these comments. Aside, we have been up to okay. What is a food stamp? America will just be make words from nowhere. Food stamps, huh? I guess. Yeah, the stamps used to look like Monopoly money. $1, $5, $10, 20. Yeah, man. Shout out to Pathway New Horizons. You came up too, huh? You came up in the struggle too. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never used no food stamps. Okay, so my people wasn't rich, but we wasn't, we wasn't never on no government assistance. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, but growing up in the hood, you know what a food stamp is. You know how to, and somebody mama might have been on drugs and she's selling food stamps for cheap. So you, anyway, we was young. Aside, I remember the time when you and the real South Africa, when the only Black Americans talking about South Africa. Man, that's dead. Man, listen, let me tell y'all the story. I don't know if I told this on the last video, but let me tell y'all. Me and the real shout out to the real South Africa. Me and like the real South Africa and Ashley in Africa, we like OGs at this point. And it's just so many people in the YouTube space doing this, so many people on TikTok, so many people on Facebook. But let me tell you, we were at Cream in the Mall of Africa, and we were actually having dinner or lunch. Let me say it was lunch. And okay, as we walked out of Cream, it's like 10 of us. We just talking or whatever have you. And I see this dude. Man, this Negro was big, y'all. I ain't seen a Negro this big ever. Right? He had to be 6'8", 6'9". And I mean the dude arms was like his arms were like tree trunks, right? And I looked at him, I said, that Negro is not from you South Africans, you ain't never made a Negro that big in your life. South African men be about 5'6". You did. Now they be strong because I be seeing them put them little things up the hills. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say he ain't strong and they do a lot of running, but y'all ain't never made no 6'8", 6'9" Negro with big old arms. This dude. So I ran up on him, blah, 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 blah. I said, man, where you from? Played for the New York Giants, played football for the New York Giants, right? And he was here, listen to this, with 12 other couples, not 12 other people, 12 other couples who were looking to, a few of them had already purchased land and waterfall, like already purchased land. So it is like, yeah, at one point there was just like, one or two people that and you would know kind of the Americans that are coming or whatever. That's dead, man. It's so many at this point. There's so many Black Americans coming. But I'm gonna tell you what I really think opened South Africa up to Black Americans, and it wasn't YouTube. It was Chris Brown. Mark my words. I remember the Breezy Bowls, Johannesburg, watching TikTok, and there was plane loads of Black American women. I'm talking about getting off the plane at OR Tambo, dancing and twerking and everything like that there behind Chris Brown. But once they did that, once they actually arrived and said, "Whoa, just like Atlanta, just like Houston." It was it. Chris Brown did more for tourism and exposure for South Africa than I don't know. I think than the South African tourism department did. You understand what I'm saying? Chris opened, and he opened the world and Black America to South Africa, and the rest of the continent already knows about South Africa. But I'm sure out of those 90,000 people, or actually the 180,000 people, because he sold out F&B twice, I would say a good, I would say a good 30,000 of that 180 came from the States. I'm telling you. And just think about that. 30,000 Black Americans have visited South Africa to see the Breezy Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And that's seeds. Those are the seeds. They go back and be like, man, we went to South Africa to see Chris Brown. And look, yes, Chris was cool, but man, South Africa off the chain. We left Josie and flew out to Cape Town and was on the beach. And I'm telling you, it was he did a thing for South Africa. Let me check out. My grandmother would try Don Parker. The first was a video about blacks without borders. Yeah, yeah, Blacks Without Borders came out in like 2008 actually, and it was yeah, actually I rewatched that recently to see if some of those people are still here, and believe it or not, a few of them are. Uh-oh, it's telling me my connection is unstable. You think me and Mark are the real South Africa should have a meeting? I met Mark before. I did, man. Shout out to that brother. Um, you know, I met him. I met some of his family too. You know, uh, not that big. Somebody said not that big. I don't know. Um, Interesting take on Chris Brown tour. It makes perfect sense though. Yeah, man, Breezy, man. I didn't know Breezy was that big, y'all. Like for real. Like, I stopped. I'm a Riri fan, so let me just keep it a buck. Okay. Let me keep it 1,000 with you. I'm bad girl. I ain't the beehive. I am Riri. You dig? And when he put his hands on her, I ain't really rocked with him since. But I gotta give it to the brother. He managed to overcome that negative press and that horrible incident and keep his career going. Because for a while he was kind of blackballed. Everybody wasn't, Jay Z. Riri was Jay Z's signee. So people were like, I can't rock with Breezy because we're gonna get mad. Jake might, blackball my career, but it seemed like he was able to overcome that. And he closed out, I think, the Breezy Bowl in New Orleans. I don't know if that was a closeout, but he did a stop in New Orleans, and it was wow. Somebody put 170 rand in. Wow. Oh, that's SB, that's Sabu live. What's going on? I ain't gonna say your name out loud because I know you're incognito. Yeah, yeah, incognito. Let's see what else. Kenya has 36,000 Americans living there, with several thousand African Americans. Both Kenya and South Africa have more European Americans than African American. Absolutely, and that's the truth. And do y'all know that the United States, like, it's very mind-boggling how, and I know it's through the media, how familiar South Africans are with the United States, but there's only like 100,000 South Africans living in the U.S., and the vast majority of them are white South Africans. And I'm not talking about the new Afrikaners who just arrived. I'm talking about those who've been there. It's only like 100,000 of them, and the vast majority of them are white, and the vast majority of them came after the dawn of democracy, right? We often hear about this, the white South Africans fleeing to Australia, New Zealand, or Europe, but a gang of them went to the U.S. And a lot of them there work for work also. But the number of Black South Africans is that many in the United States. I think Nigerians, Somalians, um, Ethiopians. Those are the African countries with the largest populations. Man, thank you so much, Sabu. I really appreciate it. I need that 170 rand. I could pay a light bill or something. uh, have other people, especially when they come have other people, especially when they come for the homecoming of SA. Yeah. So homecoming, y'all. So homecoming is an idea. Okay, so I talked about it in the last video. So here's what we're gonna do. Now this is when I got to put on the academic hat, right? So we're gonna start doing monthly diaspora dialogues, and I put out a flyer already. And you can see the topics. From now, it's gonna be basically 12 sessions or 11 sessions, um, once a month on basically the mid Sunday, meaning like either the 12th, 13th, 14th, whatever day the mid Sunday lands on. And you'll see the dates on the flyer. And the discussion and it's for both Black Americans and South Africans as we talk about homecoming. The very first topic is, what does it mean to come home? And really dealing with the psychological impact of home. What is home? What does home mean? I know I wrote a book called Find Home Again. I've been dealing with the concept of home and as it relates to the diaspora as an academic for the last 2 or 3 years. So that's going to be what we're going to do. So once a month, we will have the diaspora dialogue, where we'll talk about topics such as coming home, and there'll be some practical stuff in there. What's the immigration process like? What's what's it like to purchase a home? But not really deep into those subjects. We'll have little practical stuff in there, practical stuff about the homecoming trip itself, but also we're going to actually deal with serious conversation. I may even start issuing out like homework and reading assignments and stuff like that for those who really want to be involved in the conversation. So, first 15 minutes, we'll kind of do some housekeeping. The next 15 minutes, I'll have a presentation on the topic itself. Hopefully, that will spark conversation, spark dialogue. And then the last 30 minutes will be that conversation and that dialogue. And we'll do that once a month. But this is the build up to homecoming to really get people interested in coming here. So my goal is 100 people. And that's not a lot because I just realized Wode Maya and them, he took 500 African Americans to Burkina Faso. And man, it's hot and dusty. I'm saying, I like shout out to Burkina Faso and Chore. Y'all know I've been shouting them out. But Lord, he took 500 people there. And I know somebody who went and he was like, bruh, it's hot and dusty. He was like, it was so hot and dusty. It was looking hazy when I'm like, yeah, no. We had to wait to Burkina Faso build up a little more. I can't do the heat like that. No, we need AC everywhere. But so with that being said, I thought 100 was a lot, and it's really not. Wode Maya and that organization, it was somebody else. I forgot the name of the organization, but 500 people. That's a lot of people, to pull that off. But I want to do it here. And the idea of homecoming, as I talked about in the last video, we want to bring it's both the psychological, but it's also the practical, but it's also some fun. I think that's what I don't see a lot of, um, when people visit. They advertise, like the safari, they advertise Constitutional Hill, Soweto, Apartheid Museum, and they advertise the food. But they don't really be advertising that you can come here and have a good time and like not necessarily the nightlife, but have a good time. So we curated a schedule of events that include, a day party that includes, a poetry night, an old school R&B night, as well as I'm serious about that gumboot dancing because as a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity and as a member of a fraternity and Black Greek letter organizations, I think it'll be very important and impactful for people to see like this type of connection from South Africa all the way to the United States. Like, dang, this is what because there's so many people that step and then are in fraternities and sororities who have no idea where the origin of that came from, right? Or no, have no idea the origin of it. So let me read some of these comments. What about the G20 movie? I'm supposed to be speaking at a G20 event too on Saturday. I don't know the logistics and the details. I was invited. I don't know if it's a official. It's an official G20 event, but it's not. I ain't gonna be speaking with the heads of the state. I ain't that important. But I'll let y'all guys know. I may post it on the. I said, yeah, look at her. Yeah, I did see her. Yeah, y'all know. Look. Men better have my money. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Riri. Riri will be singing like hood gospel music to me. Around 25,000 Americans currently live in South Africa, but under 3,000 African Americans. Yeah, listen, it's probably the truth. I don't know if the number is pathway to New Horizons. I don't know if the number of Americans is 25,000. I think it may be closer to like 7 to 8,000, like officially living here. Now, you may have people here who are short term working, but I don't know if it hit 20. I don't know. But if you got the numbers and you can hit me with the data and the citation, then I'll definitely check it out. Um, yeah, so the G20 first time in Africa, your take, man. I think this is big. This is big. I think America, well, the United States is not supposed to be here, but that's typical. That's part of the white supremacist mindset, which is like in their mind, their presence validates anything African, and it's a problem for them. So, but the world is moving on without them. You know, my grandmother would try to get me to go to the store for her and use food stamps. I was so embarrassed. She would tell me I can get a snack because she knew I didn't want to go. Man, listen, I'm being bad about them food stamps. I know I used to buy them from the crackhead. Sure. We go to the store. That's free money. Um, let's see. Most people didn't know about Blacks Without Borders. Yeah, man, I watched Blacks Without Borders a long time ago. It's called Blacks Without Borders: Chasing the American Dream in South Africa, and that's like 2008. So about a little under a decade after the dawn of democracy. How have other people, especially, oh, have other people? I read that. What about the G20 movie, which was a big hit film? I don't know. I don't know about. No, I thought you were talking about the G20. Sorry, I know nothing about the G20 movie. I don't know about that. Also, add they are some of the biggest supporters of Trump. Oh, he must be talking about the South Africans in the U.S. Probably so. Yeah. What you didn't know Breezy was big? I like them both. No, I didn't know he was big like that, y'all. I didn't know. Listen, I know I'm about to tell my age. And this dude from my state. I didn't know the young boy was that big. This dude huge. Do you know he has more number one hits than Drake? Drake? I thought Drake was the Drake. He got more number one hits than Drake. I said, man, I don't know. I saw that on Facebook. Somebody could have made that up, but this dude is huge. But yeah, anyway, but I didn't know Breezy was that big. We lost Sabu to TV. She is no longer a YouTube. No, no, yes, she is. She in them YouTube streets. Stop playing with her. She in them YouTube streets. They'll probably be out this week sometime. I'm so glad. I love learning more information about SA. Sabu Live, you're a TV now. What? That's awesome. Is viewed SA is viewed as un-African. So people, when they visit the real Africa, they go to those impoverished countries. Yeah. So SA is the real Africa. Because let me tell you, the idea that's because something is developed or wealthy makes it un-African. That's white supremacy. You see what I'm saying? That's white supremacy. And we just gotta be real. Parts of Africa are underdeveloped. Parts of Africa poor. Parts of Africa Dusty. But then you have Nairobi, you have Accra, you have um what's that in Nigeria? Y'all know? um Abuja and Lagos. Lagos, yeah, maybe. But you know what I'm saying? You got Equatorial Guinea, right? You have places that are very developed or whatever have you. So the whole idea that because something is developed or because a nation is prosperous or because it's whatever, that makes it un-African, that's rooted in white supremacy. The idea that Africa can only be underdeveloped, and that's vestiges of colonialism. So we got to get that out of our mind. But yeah, but with that being said, I like certain comforts, so I ain't really rolling to Burkina Faso right now. They need to do a little bit more development. Not that you know, not that they more African, but thanks. I'll be enjoying 18. Oh, look, somebody just hit me up, say they'll be in Johannesburg the week of the 18th. That's this week or next week. All right. Parts of the U.S. is dusty too. That part. That part. Go to Mississippi. Go to the SIP. Shout out to Jackson. But leave out of Jackson and go to the Delta. Yay. Wait a minute. I ain't got to go that far. Listen, Louisiana is the second poorest state in the union. Remember I told you the second blackest? It's the second poorest, right? It's the second poorest state in the union. New Orleans itself is a very poor place. Now, I ain't gonna say we dusty. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say we dusty. But it's some poverty there. It's some poverty that rival any poverty in Johannesburg. So yeah, it's definitely there. But yeah, so the reality is that America's biggest weapon is not in its military; it's in its media. The idea that you think that America is just full of rich and prosperous cities is, yeah, that's the propaganda. You might say get the likes up. Don't worry about it because it's 24 likes, but I'm not about to stay on here. I just jumped on to run it with y'all a little bit. I'm in about 5 minutes. I gotta jump off because I got a meeting. But and Adrian is upstairs. I guess she's laying down, taking a shower. I don't know what she's doing. Y'all know how it is. But what else we got? Yes, the U.S. is still has sundown towns. So, Luciana, I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I'm gonna call you Sister Edwards. Sister Edwards. When I ride from Dallas, Texas, because my best friend and my best friends, other friends, live in Dallas. When I ride from Dallas or from New Orleans to Dallas, you go straight up. So Louisiana is shaped like an L, right? And New Orleans is way down here. Can y'all see my hand? Okay. New Orleans is way down here on the L, and below that is water. So that's why we real seafood type people. So you drive to get to Dallas, you drive up Louisiana, and that's a long ride. And then you go across. You see this whole left part of Louisiana? When I tell y'all Louisiana and New Orleans, two separate things, we way down here. This whole part of Louisiana, that's clan territory. It looked like clan territory. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I make sure I'm riding through there during the day. Yeah, I make sure, and then I don't get off on certain exits. Yeah, it's got to be a real lively lit exit for me to get off to take a little, to go to the bathroom or get some gas or something like that. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, that L part of Louisiana, that part right there. No, that's not. Yeah, sundown facts. It's something. I don't know what it is, but it give you Mississippi burning. It's given lynch party. So I don't. Yeah. I typically fly to Dallas, but let's see what else we got. Modernization is different than westernization. There are developed nations all over Africa. Look at, I guess that's, I don't even know how to say Luanda. Kenya is more developed than Burundi. Right. Yes, comfort is key for me. No, that's the truth. That's the truth. Have you been to Alaska, Doc? No, indeed. For what? No, indeed. For what? Why would I go to Alaska? Ain't nothing out there. It's frozen. It's no. I'm from the south, and I'm black. I don't want to be cold like that. No, indeed. I hear you. I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas. Shout out to Corpus Christi. Shout out to Corpus Christi, Texas. You know, my wife from San Antonio. We spend a lot of time in Dallas. We spend a lot of time in Houston. Um, Mississippi, goddamn. What you know about that old Nina Simone, Mississippi, goddamn? Yeah. Then did you know, Pete? Did you know that uh, Outkast and 8 Ball, the rappers, had a remix to Mississippi, goddamn? It was a rap song. There you go. Uh, Dr. Sod and Adrian hailing from San Francisco Bay Area, the Yate area. I can't wait to meet you both. I'll be in Durban next week, and I might be coming to your homecoming next December. Man, we would love Lakeisha. Come on to the homecoming, and if you in Durban, my email address is Asad AsadElMalik at gmail.com. My name, Asad El Malik at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We got some good people that live out there from Texas who live in Durban now. They used to live in Joburg, but you know, they wanted to be by the water. They fell in love with Durban, right? Um, and so they lived here for like 6 months, but they've been out in Durban probably about just as long now, probably 5 or 6 months. So if you could be in Durban, I'll connect you. And Ahmad is the brother's name, and his wife's name is Kim. So I'll connect you guys so that you can meet some folk out there while you're in Durban, and I'm sure they got their little community also. I say I need to do an updated green book for what I live over here. I'm South African now. I'm trying to get my I'm trying to get me a new passport, trying to get me my permanent residency there. Yeah, no, yeah, that's dead over there. Path to New Horizons, that's dead over there, man. We trying to get them out. We trying to get them out. Yeah, we will be in Joburg, February. Wait, Joburg 25th February through March 25th. Well, look, I just gave out my email address, Sister Gina. Please hit us up. Let me see. I'm trying to think. February. Okay. I think I got a group of people coming too in February. I know we got them some coming in March, but I gotta see. I think I got some students coming in February, so it'd be great if y'all meet them. Cool, got it. I'll be there with the Real South Africa. Shout out to the Real South Africa looking for properties, but I definitely want to visit Joburg. Listen, y'all know how I feel. Durban is cool. Cape Town is cool. But ain't nothing like Josie, man. Man, come on, man. Yeah, come on, man. Ain't nothing like Johannesburg. Come on, man. Come on. It's just the truth. It give you everything that you need. Like you can never, ever be bored in Johannesburg. You can never be bored. You have to, that is always something going on. The theater, there's concerts, there's art galleries, there's museums, there's Four Ways Farmers Market. I mean, it's always something going on in Josie. And it's always really now Durban black too. Let's not play no games. But Josie got like more that metropolitan, more cosmopolitan, more, you know, I don't know. It's just a je ne sais quoi. That's that New Orleans French coming out. It's just a certain thing, just something about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But shout out to Durban though. Shout out to Cape Town. In fact, man, in fact, y'all coming up soon. I gotta go in a few minutes. I got a brother who's from the UK who moved here, and me and him linked up, and we're actually working on this homecoming thing together. He's working on getting some UK people here, but he and I are actually going to take a trip to Cape Town because there's a possibility. It probably won't happen for 2026, but we definitely want to look towards the future for 2027 in the homecoming and actually have a offshoot where You're here in Joburg for 5 days, and then maybe do a Cape Town trip for 5 days with the whole homecoming experience. But I don't like to bite off more than I can chew. I'm thinking if I'm getting 100 people and we're doing, this is our first time doing it. I want to make sure everything is tight and right here in Josie before, but we are still. I'm about 95% sure it's just going to be in Josie, but we are going to take me and Simon going to take a trip to Cape Town to see if there's a possibility that in 2026 that we could have a 2 or 3 day offshoot event in Cape Town, because I do know that Cape Town is beautiful, and it's December, and it's summertime, and it's the beach, and it's all that good stuff, and that may make it super attractive to people to come. But let me say, I'm about 95% sure we're just going to keep it in Josie because I want to do it right. I want to get everything done right first, and then try to think about expanding, or whatever have you into Cape Town. But okay, Lakeisha, I see you. I'll be with Real South Africa. Yes, I heard Johannesburg is like Atlanta and New York City had a baby, something like that. It is more like Atlanta. It's, it's more like Atlanta. Let's say more like Atlanta, more like Houston, because it's spread out. New York is, you know, it's the city with all the buildings. It's Gotham City, but it's not really geographically large, right? We hear New York and we hear 8 million, 9 million people living in New York. You're like, oh, it's big, man. You can get on a train if you, my New Yorkers can. You get on a train and get through New York in probably about hour and a half. Josie is it's more like southern big cities spread out. You know, if you live where I live in Kyalami and you want to go to Glen Vista, go and pack your little lunch. Pack your little lunch because it's gonna be a ride. Yeah, it's spread out. But when you get to downtown, like around the CBD area, it gives you more Chicago than New York. New York is like so many buildings, so it's just like that's all you see, But it's more like a Chicago skyline than a New York skyline. But definitely, so I would say Chicago and Houston had a baby, or Chicago and Atlanta had a baby, or something like that. So, yep, Joe's is a vibe, but I would visit CPT and Durban. I don't know how to tell you how fire Joe's is. Like I think Durban is a great vacation. Like, you want to take a weekend off and go to Durban and walk the beach and you know, eat at a restaurant and just relax and chill. When we were up there, we stayed on like I don't know, it's like the 7, 8 floors. So we had the windows open or whatever have you. Only thing you gotta watch out. I think we were actually in Bolito, so it wasn't technically Durban. So we were in Bolito, which is like I guess a suburb, and it damn monkeys. Yeah, no, yeah, no, the monkeys. Yeah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we had the windows open. You get the breeze. It's great and relaxing. But I'm a city dude, y'all. I'm city. Like, and sometimes I think Johannesburg is a little too slow for me. I'm from where we rock all night. Everything is open all night. New Orleans is a 24-hour city, meaning you can go to Walmart 24 hours. You can go to a bar. There's a bar. You can go to Bourbon Street and drink at any time. I don't drink, obviously. There's a bar called Miss Mays that stay open 24 hours, 7 days a week. It does not close. There used to be a food place in New Orleans East. Y'all want to know the name of it? The name of it was We Never Close. God honest truth. It was a restaurant called We Never Close. So I'm from that type of, things just moving. New Orleans is it's a slower kind of paced city, but it's still a fast paced, all night kind of city. And Johannesburg is not all night. It ain't definitely ain't pushing all night. Yeah, especially out in this area. Townships. When you go to Soweto, you can pump all night out there. Like they not shutting down, but out here in the northern suburbs or whatever have you, if you go out, it might be good midnight, 1 o'clock, and you'll see it shut down. Yeah, so I'm not, I'm city. We Never Close was the best pop. Dr. James, man, what you know? Doc, what you know about We Never Close? That's right. You went to school in the city, man. We never. So if y'all thought I was playing, the name of the place was We Never Close, and that's how we rock. Yeah, We Never Close. I don't know how they did it, but they never closed. One night and 2 minutes, I gotta go. One night, it was Christmas night, y'all, and God rest my mama's soul. My mom and my daddy had gone out of town, so ain't nothing open on Christmas. McDonald's closed, the grocery stores closed, and I'm sitting in my apartment because I was in college at the time. I'm sitting in my apartment, man, and I ain't even got ramen noodles. I ain't got nothing. I mean, but I had a little money. I had about $20, and I'm just hungry. And I took a chance. Now this time I'm living in the burbs, right? I'm living in Kenner. I got in my car, and I. So this is like going from my South African family. This is just to put it this way. This is like a 30-minute drive, 35-minute drive from where I was living to where We Never Close was. And I'm taking a chance. I'm like, Lord, this place ain't gonna be open. It's Christmas, but the name is We Never Close. It gotta be open. Man, I took that ride and see when I turned into that parking lot and I saw them lights on and I saw people in there. Oh man, yes, Lord. I said we never close. It, it was the best place ever. Y'all, look, I got a meeting in 5 minutes. Look for us. Look for us with another video soon. And make sure y'all check out that the diaspora stuff. So I did post it in the community page. The link even to the Zoom is in the comments on that post. And the first one is December 14th. So if y'all available, join and we're gonna have this good conversation. It's gonna be some good stuff. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that, it's gonna be some good stuff. And we gonna get started, man. So, and if y'all can, spread the word for me. The website is Homecoming South Africa 2026.com. Homecoming South Africa 2026.com. Shout out to my brother Simon. I was telling you from the UK. He's actually going to create an app, and in the app, those who participate, those who register and participate, they will be able to see the itinerary, see post pictures, get push notifications. So, like if they're at part-time museum and they say, okay, your bus is leaving, the push notification to come in and say your bus is leaving in 10 minutes, so they'll know to wrap up. See, we want to do this thing right. So I'm not just playing with it. We're gonna make sure it is well organized and fly. Well organized and fly and everything put together shy. You know what I'm talking about? So all right, family. It's been an hour. I've been running my mouth, and my meeting is about to start in 4 minutes. Man, y'all have a good one, and we'll talk soon.